Hi, this video shows how I copied and made the jeans right front pocket and watch pocket. Although I do my research with due diligence, I have only been sewing for 10 weeks. Therefore, I encourage you to do your due diligence as well. This video is 48 minutes long. Enjoy. This white cloth is 100% cotton, and it's the cotton for the front jean pocket lining. It's already cut a level edge, true edge down that side, I believe it was, or maybe it was this side over here. It doesn't matter. No, it was that side. So I'm just doing the top now here. So I'm getting the cloth cut out, and then once I get this lining, this cotton lining cut out, I'm going to mark it with the 1/2 inch seam allowances, and then we'll go from there. So that's what I'm up to. Welcome aboard. Okay, I'm back, and I've made a little bit of progress. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the denim here on the bottom and on the side. And on the bottom, I'm going to cut the denim right to somewhere around there, just below that pocket thing there. And then on the side, I'm going to do it just to about there. And then that way, once that is gone and that is gone, I'll have a pretty good little piece to measure there for my 2 lining pieces that I'm going to have to cut. So that's my plan. So these are the 12-inch tailor's shears that I'm using. So that's those 2 pieces of jeans, of denim. Now I'm going to save those for denim, to make like a bag or who knows, maybe I'll get into quilting. So what do I have now? Now I have that, and if I turn it over that way, that's a really simple thing for me to measure. So I'm going to pretend that this is flat out open and measure what that size is, and then I'm going to cut 2 of them off of that linen cloth. That's my plan. Here we are on this clip now, and this is a good one. I need, the pocket lining needs a 1/2 inch seam allowance on its borders. So that's one thing. The second thing is that I need 2 of them. So this cloth that we're looking at is 2 layers of cloth. The fold is there. So what I cut here also cuts underneath on the second pocket cotton lining. That's my point. I have to double this distance from this edge to that edge and put it over there and put a 1/2 inch seam clearance on there, and then I will have enough to make that in 2 copies. That's the plan. And check everything I do. I do my due diligence. Maybe since I've only been sewing for somewhere around 10 or 11 weeks, because it'll be 12 weeks, 3 months in the middle of December, and it's only November what, 27th, 28th or something today. I'm not sure what the actual date is. I think it's Thursday. Isn't that awful? So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to get that set up for cutting that, and marking it up with a 1/2 inch seam clearance, the border marks, like the edge marks, and then the half-inch clear allowance, and then start cutting. But I'll measure twice. The marking continues, and I think it's true. I think I'm right so far. So we'll have to see how all that goes. My next line that I need to draw is right there, and that is the half-inch seam allowance for that edge. So it's coming along. It's a slow process, but I'm, kind of a slow goer anyway, and I like to really double and triple check things, so I'm a little bit slow. So that's why I just check in here every once in a while with an update clip, just to let you see how it's going. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna, at the end, it's gonna flow pretty good, and we'll see how the pocket gets done. That's what I'm hoping, anyway. Here's my line, my marks right here. I'm going to make a line right down there, and that's this line you're going to watch me make with this chalk is the cut line on this side. And that right there is our half-inch seam allowance that way, and that way. This is a cut line right along there. And maybe I should fix that up a little. I'll just follow right along there. I will not follow that. So I'll put this yellow on there so that I won't do that. That's what I did. I made some errors here, so I put yellow chalk on them, so I know don't cut or measure anymore. Just stay away from it. So here we go. I'm going to get going cutting. I'm going to make a cut right along that line there, all the way across. This whole part is going to come off at the bottom, on both sides, on both pieces. Because there's a duplicate underneath. Let's see how I did with that. Okay, that's a good start. Let's get right back at it. Cool. Blink. Ta-da! Look at that, right there. There's the line. You can see it where it all came through. Nice. That's one line done. Now I'm going to come over here and do this line. Look at that, isn't that sweet? How are we doing now? You know what? That's our cut. That's all the cutting. The cutting is done. The cutting is done except for up here, because there's a fold there. Let's think about that for a minute. So there is a fold here, right? This is a fold. So I either have to cut it off, which I have to do. I have to cut it off because it's not going to stay. It has to go. So I can either roller blade it off, roto cutter it off, or I can use scissors. But I'm going to use the roto cutter. And all I have to do is do a thin line along that edge. So everything's sitting there right now good. Let me make the line now. Indeed. So I've got it lined up on that line right there. And I want to see just a smidgen of white right there. Can you see that smidgen of white? That's it, right there, that thin sliver of white. Hang fire, hang 10 there. It's not the greatest close-up, but there's only one of me. Thank goodness for that, eh? Cool. So now, we should have two separate pieces. Absolutely. Excellent. I'm going to put this other one aside for right now. Okay, I'm going to get ready for my next move. Where are you? Alright, what I'm doing here is I have both pieces of the cotton lining, and this is the fold line. So I'm going to iron the fold line, but I'm going to iron them separately. I don't want to iron them together. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm right on that line. And I'm just letting it sit for a few seconds. There's no rush. It's going to be inside the pants, so even though I stain it with a bit of a scald or a burn, we won't see it. Okay, time to iron the second one. Got it lined up nice on the blue chalk line. Awesome. We'll let that iron auto shut off, and we'll take these two pocket linings over to the table, see what we're going to do next. I think we have a denim lining coming up soon here. What goes on next on top of the cotton lining is the denim shield. The denim shield is the blue denim that we see when we look at the pocket. And it is quite noticeable when the watch pocket is there because it accents highlights that area. What I'm doing now, where's the light? I've got to turn the light on. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting the pocket, this cotton pocket lining off, so that I'm left just with the denim shield and the denim watch pocket. So that's what I'm on to right now. Watch this. That's what it looks like on the back. And I'm just going to go right down there, holding it this way, using the jeans as a guide. Watching, making sure I don't cut the fingers off my left hand. There. So it's there. That's done. And that is the size of my pocket shield that has to go on the two pocket the two pocket shields over there. That's what that is. So, the question in my mind is, will I take that off? Oh, I'll see about that, because it's got two rivets, you know, and they're a pain in the neck. They're virtually, unless you have a special tool or extractor or whatever, buy an extractor for rivets, they're impossible to get off. Anyway, I'm going to continue. So this line is straight on the left side, and that line is straight on the top side. I've got this one measured up to cut my third line, so then I'll have that one true, and that one true, and then I'll just have to get the fourth one, and then I'm going to get a piece of the pocket shield and maybe the pocket out of there as well if it's big enough. We'll see once I get it all fixed up here. So that's what I'm on to now. So I'll get this one down here. Have an eye. I got to be really careful because it's an awkward place to do it. So I just have to kind of start it at each end. Maybe I'll end up rotating it. Good. And now we want this little part here. Beautiful, that's 3. And now here's the fourth one on there, on that side there. And I know we're lined up on the 45 mark here and the 45 mark up there. So we're good to go. Cool. So there's that piece of denim. I got some measuring and figuring out what to do, and then we'll start another clip. Thanks for hanging in here. Here's where I've traced out my cutting marks for the denim shield, which also has the watch pocket on it. So that's what I'm going to do for now, is cut this denim shield shape out of here. This is excess denim down here. We don't need this on here right now. And I'm going to use the scissors for this job. It's got a curve here. There's some extra cloth denim there. Let me just round this out a bit. And then just up here a bit. And I think we're good with that there. Well, golly, I might have enough. Yeah, you know what? I got enough to get the little pocket right out of that. Isn't that sweet? So let me see how I can fit that on the thingamajigger here. Now the fold was on the right hand side. Now I left myself a bit of room there. I don't think I have to fold that. That just stitches right on. Let me see what I got over here. Oh, I cut it off. Yeah, so it just stitched right on like serged or stitched, and all around there. And that went into the waistband up top. But anyway, that's what I'm looking at for that. This appears like it might be slightly more generous than the blue jean, the already used one, the 505 one here. Which is okay. Which is okay. Because it can be trimmed. Maybe I should, see, I gotta, what do I have to do here? This has to be sewn onto the lining. That will get sewn on, and that will get sewn on. And that, we'll see how we dispose of that, how we deal with that. But I gotta make a decision. Because what I have to do first is I have to get the shield on. So it's clip time and pin time. So the pinning is done. Only 3 pins. That's a little bumpy. There was something underneath there. So kindly. And yeah, the pinning is done. And I'm ready to sew this denim shield onto the pocket lining. And that's what we're looking at. So I'm just going to do a little bit of sewing all the way around, one line of thread. So I want the needle down all the way, and it is. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot, I'm going to turn. So the needle is all the way down. I'm going to lift up the foot, and I'm going to pivot the cloth so that I can start stitching. If I start on the curve and go all around the curve, then I can get up to the straight one direction and come back in the straight another direction, and then I never have to stop sewing or take the needle out until I'm completely done. So here we go. I'm going to stitch. I'm going to sew. And now I'm coming up to the corner. There, the needle is buried. I'll lift the foot, leaving the needle buried, and now I'll rotate the pivot, the cloth, and the denim shield. I'm already done, but I missed a bit down there, so I'll do it again. And where I'm doing it now is where I did it the first time, where I should not have started. Because this is on the straight and I should have started on the curve like I just did. So now I come back to, well, Now I'll back tack. Good, I think I've tidied that all up, my friends. So now I can take these pins out. Where's my pin sponge? So there, that's nice, I'm happy with that. It's going to end up inside the jeans like that. This is going to be inside the jeans. And now I'm going to make the watch pocket and stitch it onto there. And then that'll be the end of the video. Hi there, friends. What I have going on here now is I finally got to the point where I did get the pocket lining and that denim shield attached, sewn onto the pocket lining. So I've set that aside for now because now I needed to make the little watch pocket, which I have done. And there were a couple of things that I did to learn how to do that. Because there may be some of you like me that have only been sewing for about 10 or 11 weeks. It'll be 3 months for me, 90 days for me, around the 15th of December. But enough of that story. What I've drawn here is I had, as you saw before in the other videos and maybe earlier in this one, I had the pocket. So I measured the pocket when it was still all together, but detached from the jeans like I had it. So that's where this came from. And then after I got this done, I went back to the pocket and I took this pocket off the original denim shield. And this piece of denim here is the inside of the watch pocket. It's the denim shield that the watch pocket was attached to. So that gives you an idea of how these things were built. So that's what I did. So now, to make a long story short, excuse me while I do a little bit of housekeeping, I have to measure, up here I have to measure a half inch, a half inch, a half inch, and then I have to fold on the half inch hems. So I have to fold it twice. And I have to do that first. I have to do that first, get it right, and then it's going to be a half inch seam allowance all the way around the rest of the border. What I have learned in these last 10 weeks or so is that it's best to plan my sewing so that once I start, I can continue until the project is complete without having to stop and cut the thread. Now sometimes we have to do that, but with this one, once I get that top part done and then I start here, I should be able to go all the way around and then back down around there and then back up there and lock it up there, so that I'm not going to have these endless little loose, ends of threads once I'm all done, like I did earlier when I was first starting to sew. So sorry for that, that's a little bit of a long story, but that's where this is going. So now, what's the next step? The next step is to sew this onto that. There, I've got the first one marked up, so it's up to the ironing board now with that to get that seam allowance ironed. So the foot is down. The threads are out of the way. I think I'm going to move that cloth a little more. Now the foot is down again. The needle is all the way in. My plan here is to, well, I'll tell you what my plan is here in a second. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to start, and I'm going to lay some thread here, about 3 or 4 stitches, and back tack it, and then pivot and go all the way down here and all the way around, kind of thing. We'll see what we end up doing here. So the foot is down and the needle is in. I have one of the threads, and I'll do my little back tack thing here. And now I'm going to raise the foot, and I'm going to pivot for this direction there. Lower the foot. Our threads are still locked, the needle is still down. And I'm going to edge stitch right along there. Right along there. Well, that didn't work too well, did it? I hope I didn't get a knot. Okay, I'm going to raise the foot and pivot, and then do about 3 or 4 stitches down this way here, and then back tack. So it's all going to be done up there. Lower the foot, go forward, that did not really work. So unfortunately I do have to do a snip and start again, right there. Righty-di. Okay, let's recoup, take a look. Pardon me. So I've stitched all the way down there. I've got an errant bit of thread. So now I have to put another piece of thread right down there. So what I want to do, no, I'm going to continue. Oh no, I have to finish that up. Just that. I can't do anything else except this. I'm getting a little ambitious there, thinking that I can just put the needle in and start sewing and keep going until I'm done, but that's not how it's gonna work here. Are you ready? I'm ready. Okay, that's how it looks on that side, and that's how it looks on that side. So now I'm going to start stitching, sewing, and I'm going to sew. After I fold this over, I'll be sewing down one side all the way around, turn around up there, and then come back all the way down. But I got to do some measuring before I get sewing again. So have a coffee or a glass of water or go for a walk. I'll be right back in a bit. There, now it's time to go and iron again. I'll meet you back here shortly. Hi, I'm back again. So I'm getting ready to put this onto the denim backing on the lining. The denim, I forget what they call it, what we call it. But anyway, what I wanted to point out is right here, I had to make a little cut in order for that to fold over, for this to fold over that and be nice and flush. So now what I have to do is I have to get the bigger part of the pocket like thus. And this has to go on something like that, right? Yeah, it does. And I've got to put 2 rows of thread down here, and here, and here, and here. So what I want to do is start up here, do a back tack, and take it all the way down, all across there, up to the top, pivot and turn around, come back with a second row, all the way up there, right up to there, and then lock it up and pivot and back to my start. And if I do that correctly, and I don't make any mistakes, then I'll be able to start here, go all the way around and back without having to stop and cut the thread until I go from the start back to the same start finish point. That's the plan. All right, I'm back from doing all the other stuff, and I've got it pinned in position. So now I'm going to stitch a couple of rows down here, here, and this pocket will be right on the denim shield on the pocket lining. So I'm going to have a little bit of fun, I think. Pretty sure. And I really got to focus because I don't want any boo-boos. Well, you guys, there it is. It's not perfect, but it's the first. It came out pretty good for my first time doing this. I had made one of these earlier, but not all that. So this is the next evolution of that. That's how it looks on the back. I'm really pleased with it. I'm looking forward to continue on with this project, but this is where we're going to end up. This is where we wanted to get to, and we got to here, and had a couple of diversions, little delays along the way, but we're here. Have you guys made it all the way? Congrats. Hope you liked it. Hey, listen, have fun, stay safe. Adios, amigos.